There's a number of catalysts kind of lurking on the horizon, one of which, and the elephant in the room here, is Facebook.
Okay, well, explain that. What do you mean?
Sure. So, I mean, we've seen public reports of what Facebook might be working on. Most of that's pretty private, but what we do know is that they have a very large and very serious team here that's working on some sort of a public blockchain effort, some sort of a payment system here. And so, I mean, to help put this in perspective, Bitcoin has gone from 0 users 10 years ago to, somewhere between 30 to 100 million. The estimates are tough. And Facebook has billions of users. So, Facebook is significant from a global perspective, from a global scale perspective. And if even a small percentage of those users trickle into crypto, we're going to see a doubling or a tripling in the user base of crypto over the next couple years.
So the theory is, obviously whatever Facebook comes up with, some sort of stable coin, which will be very heavily regulated, partnering with existing financial institutions, all kind of KYC, AML stuff. But your theory or the possibility is that that'll be sort of a gateway drug, so to speak. And I don't mean that pejoratively, but just in the sense that that could introduce people to the idea of digital currency, and then the downstream effects could be better for some of these, what we know as cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you call it a gateway drug, I might call it a stepping stone.
Okay.
It's a familiar form factor that someone might understand and say, hey, now Facebook's made it really easy for me to adopt this digital asset. And from there, once they own it, again, it's like being on the internet. So people can spin out and they can start owning Bitcoin, they can start owning Ether. Some percentage of the user base is likely to do so. And again, I think that's going to be a dramatic catalyst. But the more important thing here, I think, is that it's lit a fire in the pants of every major fintech and financial institution in the U.S. So, I mean, we've seen E-Trade and TD Ameritrade are rumored to be rolling out brokerage for their retail clients. Fidelity is rumored to be going live with brokerage for their institutional clients. And so across the board, a lot of these fintech and financial institutions that so far have said, we're going to wait and see if this is actually disruptive and it's going to impact our business. Well, Facebook is now catalyzing them to take action sooner rather than later.
It's interesting that you say that, because why then? We've seen Bitcoin, obviously, as the biggest player in the space, is the most legitimized to many viewpoint in the space, on a tear. But on a day like today, it's actually only Bitcoin that's up, and the rest of the crypto space is lower. And I'm looking at how Ethereum's performed over the last quarter. It was up 8%. So why are we not seeing a fire lit beneath the entire crypto space in quite the same way?
So for one, I mean, listen, Bitcoin is the one cryptocurrency, crypto asset that has really found its product market fit as a digital gold. I think that new dollars that enter the space largely enter in through Bitcoin. So we tend to see the effects there first. Now, again, I think that that's the best place if you're going to be within crypto is to own Bitcoin. But I do think that longer term we could see some of the other assets benefit as well.
It seems to me that in the few years that I've been following this space, that the memes change over time, and the things that people get excited about rise and fall. And so, one point it was sort of the pure currencies, and then in 2017 it was the ICOs and the various derivations of that. Then 2018, stable coins were very big, and then now we talk about IEOs. Like, what is the next thing that people are going to get excited about? Because we see the rise and fall, but what's the thing that people are talking about now as a new area that'll get people excited about crypto stuff?
Yeah, sure. Listen, I think it's Bitcoin. There's always going to be people that come up with something new. And listen, it'd be better for me if I could get up here and say, listen, I have a better Bitcoin for you. I have something that's going to beat Bitcoin. But you have to acknowledge a winner when you see it. And when we look at Bitcoin's brand awareness, its distribution, and its technical development, we think that it's a winner. So I think that longer term, people are going to start to coalesce around Bitcoin as a winning protocol and start to build the so-called Bitcoin stack. So we see Lightning Network built on top of Bitcoin, which enables very fast, very cheap payments. I think we're going to see a whole bunch of layers that enable a range of functionality on top of Bitcoin.
It's interesting because everyone was thinking Ethereum was going to be the winner, considering the smart contracts that were able to be built on top of that. I'm interested by your take, though, that you said Facebook was the elephant in the room. They're creating their own stable coin. We've seen a lot of concern about the other key, first mover in that space, which was Tether, which is now being linked to all sorts of concerns, particularly related to the exchange that it works with Bitfinex, and perhaps the fact that they covered up millions, hundreds of millions of losses. That's what's alleged. From your perspective, how much has Tether been a help or a hindrance on the space, particularly in things such as stable coins, which Facebook might unveil at some point?
Sure. So, I mean, regardless of some of Tether's past controversy, it has been helpful for the ecosystem. So it has served as a liquidity bridge from crypto exchange to crypto exchange, and that has been a very important function. The reason that most other stablecoins have had a hard time unseating Tether, despite some concern about its backing historically, is just because in the trading space, liquidity is king, and Tether is the most liquid stablecoin by far. Now, could Facebook come in and really take the crown there? Absolutely. I mean, it has a user base that's scaled unlike anything Tether has previously seen.
Let's go back to the question of Ethereum and smart contracts. Are any of these platforms, and now there's a lot of Ethereum competitors out there offering similar things but claiming better scalability or whatever, are any of these things like being used by anyone in a meaningful way?
Yeah, so some of the smart contracts built on top of Ethereum are being used for people. As in regards to the potential Ethereum competitors, following the space for many years now, it feels like Groundhog Day sometimes. I mean, if we go back a few years, there was all of the Bitcoin competitors that were supposedly going to kill Bitcoin.
Right.
Now today we have all the Ethereum competitors that are supposedly going to kill Ethereum. I think that in both cases, those challengers are overblown and overstated. I think that for the most part, these things do have network effects, and I think that Bitcoin is the leader for a digital gold for programmable money, and Ethereum is a more expressive smart contracts platform, and it still remains to be seen if that's a really meaningful differentiator over multiple years.
All right, Spencer, we always appreciate your insight. That's blockchain capital partner Spencer Bogart. Thank you. And now